So TCL introduced their brand new 8 series televisions. Now, I for one think it's really great that they're offering over 1,000 zones of local dimming and 25,000 LEDs. That's absolutely fantastic. However, there are some things I want to address that might not be up to par. The main thing is the design. A lot of people are just jumping off the ship of OLED because of burn-in and things like that, and that's great, and that's a valid reason to do so. However, jumping over to TCL might not necessarily be the smartest choice, and here's why. TCL has a motion issue. For the longest time, they've struggled with getting good, solid, inky fluid motion on their televisions. So that might be one of the main things that holds this television back. Of course, you have to hold off on any kind of judgment until you see it, but that still remains a concern. Along with the quality control, the TCL R617 is one of the worst televisions I've ever seen for quality control. And that both times that I've tried it out, one time I've gotten this weird negative effect where the image was red and black, literally just red and black and no other colors, and then the other times you can see the individual LED zones. So this could potentially hurt even the brand new 6 series if it has that similar thing kind of going on with it. Another thing to think about as well is the design of the 8 series. Now, they designed it in such a way where you have this lip that comes out from the front of the television and a very thick piece in the center of that that keeps you kind of from having a soundbar laid flat. Now, this is a problem for those people like myself who have a soundbar and use it regularly, because this will elevate your soundbar, probably interfering with either the signal of the remote or something to the effect of the way your picture would look. It just doesn't work well, and I don't know why they brought that design over from Samsung, because that's where they got it from. That's a Samsung JS8500 design from 2015 that TCL's kind of ripping off here. Not very original. Also, when you look at all the plastic on this device, I mean, you're talking you want $2,000 minimally for this thing, and all you did was offer a bunch of cheap plastic. And the remote is the entry-level remote found on literally their basic Roku TVs. So this isn't something that's a premium offering, even though it has a premium number of local dimming zones. That, for a guy like me, is a big red flag, because it makes me think that they've cheaped out on this. And if they're cheaping out on something, I want to know about it. Now, of course, again, you can't just fully judge it until you see it in person, get your hands on it, but it's a concern. I think at this stage in the game, a lot of people are jumping out of their chairs simply because they hear that it's going to have good black levels, right? I mean, with 1,000 local dimming zones, if you mess that up, you're pretty much an idiot. So at this point, we can just kind of confirm that, yeah, it's going to have really good black levels, but truthfully speaking, we've seen TVs like the Vizio P-Series Quantum 2019 with just 200 zones of local dimming be more than adequate and all you would ever need if all you care about are black levels. So I don't really see selling 1,000 zones of local dimming as being like, oh my god, let's just throw 2,000 upwards to $3,000 at this thing as the solution, because again, we have TVs with deep black on the market right now. Another thing that I'm not fully sold on are the quantum dot benefits. Again, we have TVs that are quantum dot right now and that are QLED right now, and we seem to be in this weird stage in the AV space where it's just, hey, pump out any kind of television that has quantum dot, HDR, Dolby Vision, you know, say you have thousands of zones of local dimming and people will just buy it anyway. And that kind of seems to be where we are because the innovation just isn't there. But when you look at true future-proofing technologies like variable refresh rate, they don't really have that. They don't have eARC either. So yes, there is no such thing as future-proofing, but at the same point in time, if you're paying $2,000, you might as well get the quotation mark future-proofed options of 2019. And my biggest gripe is that they don't have any variable refresh rate, because when there are games that take advantage of that, you're not going to be able to utilize a variable refresh rate. So that's really unfortunate that TCL doesn't have that, even though they're charging the top echelon prices. Now, all in all, I think it's really promising, and even I myself, I'm pretty excited to see where it goes and what they do with it, but ultimately I can't safely say that that would just justify you spending all of this extra money on a budget brand that has yet to prove themselves. Because let's be clear, TCL just kind of burst on the scene in 2017 with their first actually good TV. I mean, I've known about TCL since 2013 when they were making those glass stand TVs. But now in 2019, they seem to think that they're a premium brand capable of charging $1,900. Are you serious, TCL? I don't see that as, you're not ready for that step yet, TCL. You're moving way too fast, and this is going to blow up in your face if you get one thing wrong, I guarantee you. Because the video file community, right? We don't have time for that. We don't want to sit there with a subpar TV, and we don't want to sit there with something that's cheaply made. You need all the premium trimmings, features, and if TCL doesn't have that, they're gonna fall flat on their face. Now, I'm sure it will be well received by the Roku lovers. There are a great amount of people, for whatever reason, I really don't know, that love Roku TV. I hate Roku TV. I don't get it. I don't see the fad behind it, but people love it. So that will make it do good. But now, I have a question here for everybody out there watching this video. Given the massive specifications of their 8 series, aren't you a little bit worried that the 6 series won't kind of live up to hype? Because if they make the 6 series ultra deep black and inky and you don't really have any blooming or anything like that, then what's the benefit of dropping $1,900 on the next step up? I mean, let's be real. If I have everything I need in your step down model, why would I pay you more money? Well, I wouldn't. I would stick with what I have. At least that's the answer for most people. Now, for the guy where money is no object, of course he'll buy whatever he wants. But for the rest of us, we wouldn't pay more if we don't necessarily have to. So this could potentially kill the TCL 8 series right out the gate for a majority of users, putting it in a very niche bracket of a very small percentile of high-end purchasers willing to buy a TCL. I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of my highest-end customers won't even bat an eye at a Vizio. They didn't want to buy the P-Series Quantum X, even with the impressive specifications, simply because it was a budget name. And you got to understand that that's going to play a role into how TCL is going to be perceived. Here's another Chinese brand not being, you know, cautious with their pricing. I just don't. I mean, yes, for the price you are offering a lot, but at the same time, your name doesn't match your price point. And who's going to pay $2,000 for a TCL when they can just pay $2,000 and get a Sony OLED? I mean, that's just where we are in today's market. Or pay that same $2,000 and go LG or Samsung. I mean, that's where we are. And I think TCL and Hisense and all these other budget brands need to learn from the market. People don't want budget names at premium prices. They want you to prove yourself first and then step into the market. Now again, it could all be just premature thought processes on my part, and then it turns out that these TVs deliver in every aspect and are the greatest TVs that ever lived and the perfect TV. But chances are I'm not wrong about this, and they have shortcutted in some area that we don't know about. Especially seeing the way that 2019 has kind of rolled out so far, where even the Hisense H9F, if we look at the Hisense H9F, it should be perfect. It has over 132 zones of local dimming. But you still run into slow transitions between text and small bright objects, which create blooming. So this could be a problem of TCL, and I'm, again, worried about the motion. So I don't really know if everybody just kind of jumping up and down and getting overly excited, pre-ordering and running out and getting a first generation US QLED from TCL is kind of like the best idea. I think we should wait to see how they deliver and, you know, get an idea of what people who are willing to take the risk, you know, say about it first, you know, because I just don't know that just going both feet into the deep end are the smartest things to do with your dollars. But that being said, I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Let's start a dialogue in the comment section down below. Do you think TCL will deliver no matter what this year? Or do you think that given their past quality control issues, maybe we should be a little cautious with them? Let me know down below, and as always, thanks for watching the #1 brand in honesty. Until the next video, I'll see you guys later.